Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And guys, make sure you understand that what we are witnessing right now is a major turnaround point for crypto. Every entity in the world is watching it right now. Almost every central bank is looking at launching a CBDC. Every regulator wants to get some piece of the pie of being the first properly regulated country and all of that stuff. They want to get it done as quickly, as efficiently, as effectively, as neatly as possible. But there's caveats everywhere. For example, being the first could lead you to so many wrong choices that you don't want to be first. But getting some tight regulations might leave you with so many, innovations left out. Being too loose might allow for too many scams, and going too quickly with your CBDC or going too slow with your CBDC can have so many negative consequences for everything that it's really a difficult situation. But know very well that all these institutions, all these entities are watching, thinking about what choices are the best. Because you can't tell me that huge hedge funds, right, millions, billions, trillions potentially of dollars have not thought about buying Bitcoin. You can't tell me that. No, if my grandmother knows about Bitcoin, and she doesn't have a TV, well then you can understand your ass that those big guys know about it. So they're watching and they're carefully assessing the risk, and piece by piece they'll step in. And before you know it, all of them will be in, right? Where's the percentages? Where's the numbers? We only know that recently a new poll came out where, I don't even know who it was, like CNBC or something like that, maybe some other website, basically asked asset investment managers if they would invest in crypto within the next 5 years. And 98% of them said yes, and they'll basically, if they were already invested, increase their exposure towards crypto. Now, with that said, and the fact that, for example, in our earlier video today, we also covered another, I think, $400 billion assets under management, invested like $600 million, something like that. If you kind of add those things together, it's like, okay, so how many companies, institutional investors, have actually joined the ranks in the last couple of days, couple of months, couple of weeks? I mean, it's actually completely insane how many have done that, but is there a really easy number to view somewhere? Because the way I'm seeing it right now, we are definitely overlooking how many new players have joined the game and how severe crypto is getting. Crypto is not really a small game anymore, which is why regulations have to be made and why literally every entity is looking at it. Here's, for example, the US Fed that flags crypto assets for the first time in financial risk review. They have to. It's not no small game no more. They can't sit around waiting and watching anymore. And that's kind of a contrarian point to what I said earlier, where they are watching and trying. That's what they were doing for the longest time. But right now they have to take the first baby steps towards action. They can't go around it. Make sure you also understand the SEC is one of the most important entities when it comes to crypto regulations. The SEC, whenever I say that, I mean the US SEC in this specific case, but the SEC in every country can have a lot of importance for crypto, but mostly we talk about the US SEC here. Now, one of the things which they are known for doing is actually stopping crypto innovation. That has two parts though. They are claiming to protect investors, yet with this Ripple lawsuit as an example, exactly the opposite is showing itself. And they are also claiming to, be transparent in exactly what you can and cannot do, so to speak. So where a security would be, they would basically tell you and guide you. However, when Coinbase asked the SEC if they could list XRP, they didn't have any objections. And now that Ripple, for example, wants to know exactly what the status of Ethereum and Bitcoin are, or if the SEC ever had a stance on XRP, all of a sudden that's all private information. And now that the Ripple, in this case, wants to question a former SEC member about some statements and about some thoughts potentially, or whatever they thought at the SEC about some specific crypto, they're like, oh no, but we can't give you that. What exactly, in terms of guidance, does the SEC give right now? There's two parts. They give guidance on ICOs because there's been a couple of papers written, and you would think that they've given us a guideline with the William Hinman paper from 2018. That was a paper by a pretty high-ranking individual in the SEC at the time, potentially high-ranking government official. Some say they are from within the SEC, and Ripple says he wasn't. So we'll leave that up for debate. But that specific person basically wrote one of the most influential crypto speeches ever, where a lot of other regulators have based their opinions on, like for example Jay Clayton. He basically formed this lawsuit as well with that principal speech in mind. Having said that, he basically later reiterated that that speech is just his opinion, has no relevance to the real world whatsoever, because an opinion, you shouldn't really do anything with that. My point being, if his opinion is not supposed to inform you, it's not supposed to be financial advice, it's not supposed to, what exactly is it then? It's not entertainment, so what exactly did that speech of his, and people quoting it, have in terms of use? If we should not use that, an SEC paper, as guidance, then so that means that anything the SEC says has no relevance whatsoever. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And from that perspective, I really firmly believe what the SEC has been doing here is showing kind of contrarian to what the rest of the United States would want and is going for. They're basically having a too restrictive mindset, where they're not only trying to block innovation, but actually make it difficult for you as investors to understand the situation. Where the Fed and all the others are saying, no, we're going for risk prevention, for example, or we are assessing the risks, or some banks are saying they're stopping it for risks. That's one part, but this is all open and shut. That's contrarian, but you get it. It's all open. They're all being public about it, saying, hey, we don't want to let you send payments to Binance because we think it's too much of a risk for your funds. Is it a good decision? I don't think so. But are they open about it as to why? Yeah. They're being really clear about it. Are some of these other higher entities being clear about that they find it a big risk? Yes. Is the SEC clear about that, though? The Securities and Exchange Commission, are they showing you what cryptos are securities? No. Are they showing you how to recognize a security? Well, yes and no. I mean, they've of course have shown the Howey test, but the people that actually buy these things are debating that. The people who actually create these things are debating that. And the actual definition, of course, is of a Howey test is also quite difficult to pinpoint here, because digital things right now, and the orange example, the Orange Groves example from the Howey case, it just doesn't match up anymore. Basically meaning, even though that these Santander results are really negative and the SEC is kind of neutral, I think that whatever they are doing is way worse than what these banks are doing. These banks are saying it's just for your own safety here that they're stopping some payments. These guys are saying, no, we don't know exactly, or we don't tell you what we're doing, why, and what we are actually, deciding or anything like that. You just figure it out, and if you do something wrong, eventually we might come after you. It's basically the same as these banks allowing you to send money there, but once you've sent the money, they block your account all the way. Like they just drop kick you in the face and write yourself out of the bank. That's kind of the same thing. It's like they didn't tell you on their pages, and if you ask about what their stance is towards crypto, they don't tell you. No, they just drop kick you in the freaking face as if you're a baby, and then all of a sudden close your account. That's kind of what the SEC feels like right now. I don't know, I just had to kind of share my thoughts here about the situation. I think it's completely unfair, completely unfair, and I really sometimes get tired and sad of how the process is going about. I mean, crypto, as I just said, it cannot be ignored. Even Jack Dorsey right now from Square, or within Square, he's also the founder of Twitter, obviously, is actually building a hardware wallet, a Bitcoin hardware wallet, to make crypto custody more mainstream. These things will just keep taking over piece by piece. All right, it will just keep happening. It will keep happening. It will keep happening. He's now confirmed it, though, that it's being built upon. Do I really care about that? No, not to be completely honest with you. In terms of wallets, though, if I had to make a choice, I would always say buy or sell a ledger. A link is down below. But there's only two places which I would personally say that's a smart idea. One is using the link down below, which is from the official Ledger website. And the second one would be a trusted source. In the Netherlands, you have a couple of places which I just know have trusted products that might sometimes be cheaper than from Ledger, right? Just might be. If you really know that's a trusted entity, okay. But be so extremely careful that you don't buy it off of a second-hand store, or a store that basically, like an eBay. You know what I mean? Where somebody could have altered something with that. We actually were joking about that in one of the live streams like yesterday or the day before. But you know what a fun fact is that a lot of people don't know how to use the ledger properly. They don't know what it looks like. Here's, for example, a little bit of a meme of somebody saying, what to do with my secret words? And it's a, look at these guys, try these secret words out. Look at it. This is the money. This is the codes, huh? Yeah, better read it for yourself. Read these words, all right? That's exactly the code. All right, so point being of this little picture right here and a little GIF at the bottom, never give somebody else your secret words, but also make sure you don't have faulty hardware. the hardware might actually send your keys or anything to the person who made it. And if it's from Ledger themselves, you're all good. But if somebody altered it, which could be if you buy something off of eBay or maybe Amazon sometimes, yeah, don't take that risk. Buy it from the official source and you're going to be good. Also, be careful that nobody swaps it in your email box, by the way. I wanted to do a little bit of digging as to whether or not it could actually be brute force, because I've been thinking, I don't actually ever use these backup phrases because I never lose my stuff. I'm always well organized. But I do wonder how exactly it works where you have to put all of this in. Now, I read that you have to buy yourself a new device and then recover your old device if, for example, it were to break. So you put in the words here, which is a really cumbersome thing to do, but all right. I do kind of wonder how many tries you get or so, because I thought for a second, like, couldn't it then be brute force to just keep trying it again and again and again? I'm assuming they have some sort of measure against that, because obviously there's only a pool of words and you could obviously try it after a couple of times, but maybe it can't. Maybe you can only try, like, let's say 10 or 3 times. But then again, I'm also sometimes thinking, well, if somebody has $1 million at stake here, they might just buy themselves 100 ledgers and just brute force their way through still. But I guess maybe brute forcing even, there's way too many options. I'm just not sure how many options you get. This is all for people who already have ledgers. If you see these words, then there's like 5 different words which you have to kind of cycle through. Whatever. All right, that's all. Not too relevant talk. Let's quickly see what else we had here. Here was Vechain. This Vechain partnership will enable vet holders to buy eBay or on eBay, Amazon, and others. It's basically Vechain making just yet again a new partnership here with shopping.io. They've just partnered with Vechain. Vet holders will enjoy a 2% discount on free package and additional discounts for SPI holders on checkout using their vet. Give a warm welcome. And that's again just another addition to the freaking army of partnerships that Vechain has. And here, let's quickly see. Vechain makes its way to the high table as it gains more relevance in China. Okay, even more relevance, huh? You would think that they couldn't really continue on, but they're getting even more. The Vechain Foundation has been announcing important partnerships recently. One thing to actually understand is that Chinese government officials have actually met up with Vechain before. This includes e-commerce, environmental, and other sectors. The organization was part of the Food Safety Summit of China Animal Health and Food Safety Alliance on July 7th. And this organization is composed of some of the biggest names in the sector, such as Starbucks, Unilever China, Mars China, Yum China, and Cargill, and many more as seen below. Vechain is the sole public blockchain provider for this alliance. Okay, there we go. That's pretty huge. During the summit, the foundation addressed, quote, the radical potential of agricultural traceability to connect and transform the entire value chain from producers to customers and government bodies, end quote. Yeah, it's a pretty big use case. We've covered that a couple of times before. And with Vechain, once more, guys, it's one of the only blockchain projects that has so much provable utility and so many provable partnerships. Kava operates directly under the government institution called the Chinese National Agricultural Science Technology Innovation Alliance, that's a mouthful, founded by the Ministry of Agriculture of the People's Republic of China. Vechain's participation in the summit goes to show the importance of the platform in China, or the Asian giant, and the alliance has set out to build a traceable system by leveraging blockchain technology. The members of this initiative will be able to log, share, and secure data on the blockchain Vechain Thor, thus increasing the trust between the end consumers and the companies. At the time of writing, VET trades at 7 cents, but I do think VET is extremely oversold, or at least in a good area to still buy. But don't just trust me. Don't take it from me, not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence, but I think VET is a good buy for the longer term. I'll just hold on through it to the bitter end, as you guys know, that I do with most of my crypto, and we shall see. All right, if you enjoyed this, make sure you press the like button. If you weren't subscribed yet, maybe do so. I'll see you guys again in another one soon.